what's up YouTube? Brian Fagioli here. And in front of me I have an Intel NUC, or NUC, depending on how you pronounce it, NUC. It's not what I'm going to be looking at in the video today, but I just wanted to show that this is an Intel NUC. It is what Intel has as like a mini PC that's designed to be compact but also powerful. But they're not the only company that makes them. So, who else makes them? Or similar PCs, I should say. MSI is one of those companies, and their Cubi line of computers. This is the MSI Cubi 5, which, as you can see here, it is silent, compact, and efficiency. I think it should say silent, compact, and efficient, but it says silent, compact, efficiency. Alright, so let's take a look here. So this little computer comes in a small size, obviously, easy assembly, Ultra 4K HD capable. Same picture on that side. Now this, I believe, is not a bare bones system. So they sell the Cubi, I believe, as a bare bones with no RAM and no storage. This unit, I believe, has some specs here that show that it is not a bare bones, but it has storage and RAM, I believe. So let's see here. So this model number, let's see, the part number, let's see, what is this here? So it says MSI part number, so 9S6-B18311-25. This model is the Cubi B183. It has a 10th gen Intel Core, looks like an i5-10210U, 1.6 gigahertz. No external GPU, no hard drive, but there is a 512 gigabyte SSD. I don't know if that's M.2 SATA or if it's PCI Express based. Hopefully it's the latter. RAM is 8 gigabytes. Not great, but not terrible. Let's see. Communication. So it says 802.11ac and Bluetooth 5. So not AX. And it actually has Windows 10 on it. So this has Windows 10 Home. So that's pretty cool. So you can get this kind of configured with some storage, with the RAM, with the operating system on there. But keep in mind, while this can run Windows, it should be an excellent Linux computer as well. So I'm going to unbox this, but I'm also going to crack it open. And we're going to look at the inside of it. So let's see. Open up the box. I'm going to put away my knife. Flip it like so. The energy efficient mini PC kit. Alright, let's see what we got here. So on top we have a little booklety thing. Then we have the actual computer. If I can pull that out. Well, what else do we have here? Oh, let's see. So we have the computer itself here. We'll look at that in a moment. We have a mount. I believe this is a VESA mount for the back of a monitor. Cool. Yes, you could actually mount this little computer on the back of a monitor and kind of make an all-in-one PC type of a thing. We also have here, whoops, we have some screws for some reason. What else do we have here? We have the power brick. So this is similar to like what you would get with a laptop. We have a power brick. And let's see here, one of these Mickey Mouse style power bricks. And we have the cable, which then plugs into the wall. Standard cable. There you go, for USA. And we also have some other things here. So we have, let's see. So it looks like this can accommodate maybe a serial ATA drive in addition. So we have a serial ATA power and data, it looks like. So we'll have to see what that's all about. So we'll keep that out. I'm going to put away the power. I'm going to put away the VESA mount because we don't need to really look at that right now. And we'll look at the computer itself. So it comes in this white wrapping for protection. We're going to take that off. Okay, so let's look at the computer. So it looks like an Intel NUC. So let me get, again, if I could find the NUC. Where did I put that thing? I'll pull that out in just a moment. But let's go ahead and first, oh, it's right next to me here. So here to the right is an Intel NUC. This is an older Broadwell model, but so similar size, almost identical if you really look at it. This particular one has a special cover that I added that adds 2 more USB-A ports. So let's take the plastic off of this and then we'll look at the device. So where does the plastic begin? How do I get opened? I'm just going to tear it from the top because I don't know how they intend for me to start this. There we go. I'm sure there's a more eloquent way to do that. Get all this plastic off here. That's a lot of plastic. Okay. Okay. Alright, so, oh, there's more plastic on the rear. We'll get that off. And, okay. So, let's start with the front of the device. So, we have here the front. You have a power button here. We have a storage indicator, it looks like, for when you're accessing like a hard drive. You'll see the activity LED there. We have a USB Type-C port in the front and a USB Type-A port in the front. And then we have a mic and headphone port in the front, headphone and microphone jacks for 3.5 millimeter audio. Not a combo jack, it has 2 separate ports, and that's pretty cool. The power button feels nice. This is all like a nice matte gray, and then there's just like a matte black on the front. Nice design. On the side here, we kind of see nothing. This doesn't even look... It's so odd because if you look here, you see this? You would think this was like for cooling. Like, it's not open. That's just like a design on the side. This is not an open grate. That's really weird. If you can kind of see that. You see how when I move it, the light kind of goes off of the plastic on the inside? So it's kind of made to look like it's open for cooling, but it's actually not. That's really weird. Up here we have... Looks like a Kensington lock style thing here, so you can lock this to like a desk. And on this side, again, that kind of fake grate. Very odd. I mean, it looks cool, but very weird that they would even bother to do that. And then on the rear is the magic. We see 2 USB 2.0 ports, 2 USB 3.0 ports, gigabit Ethernet, HDMI, and DisplayPort, as well as the power. On the bottom, we can kind of see inside the computer itself. I do see some slots for RAM and storage and such. There are some screws here. I'm guessing this is to mount to the VESA mount here, which I don't know. Yeah, it looks like you would have to maybe take the feet off, right? Yeah, it looks like, from what I can tell here, it looks like maybe you'd have to take the feet off to mount this. And it looks like with the Intel NUC, interesting. The screws for the feet also will open it up. I have a screwdriver here, so let's go ahead and open this up. Now, if you do notice, there is a screw here with a piece of tape over it, and it says factory sealed. So I guess maybe it's for warranty purposes. If you break that seal, they kind of know that you opened it up. But I think this is a computer that's meant to be open. I'm surprised. Ooh. These are Phillips, right? Yeah, let me see. Maybe the screwdriver is too small. Wow, it doesn't want to turn. I think the screwdriver might just be too small. I'm surprised by that, but let me see what I can find here. I don't see another Phillips. Let's see if I use the flathead. Can I make that work? Yes. Yes, that'll work. Okay, so this Phillips was a little bit too small, but the flat screwdriver works. So we're going to take these feet off. Okay, just like so. And we're going to see what exactly MSI put inside the computer. Now, this computer does not have Thunderbolt 3, so you cannot add an external GPU. That's disappointing, and unfortunately you can't do that. So you kind of only have the Intel storage, the Intel graphics here. All right, so let's take a look. So at the top, we can see here RAM. So here is an 8 gig stick of Samsung RAM. Let's see if we can kind of see some specs here. So this is PC4 2666. A single stick. So you could upgrade this to, depending on the sticks you get, I believe you could probably go up to like 64 gigabytes if you wanted to. 8 gigabytes is a little low, but I mean, that's probably fine for most consumers. But you can easily upgrade this to 16, 32, or 64. Probably would want to go with 16 gigabytes if you can. If you can find this exact RAM, you could just buy one of those, but it's always good to buy a match set for dual channel purposes. Then I'm going to flip this over and look at the SSD. So this is a nice surprise. So the 512 gigabytes, this is a Western Digital SN730 NVMe SSD. So this is the faster PCI Express SSD. This is not a SATA SSD. That's really good. That's good news. This means that you're going to get much better performance. You can probably also put a SATA drive in there if you wanted to. Now, I was wondering about wireless. Now, it looks like there might be a wireless card under the SSD. So we're going to remove the SSD now. For that, the little Phillips head should work fine. As long as I don't lose that screw. There we go. That is coming off just fine. Okay. I'm going to put that right there so I don't lose it, but I probably will lose it anyway. So, oh, that's interesting. So there's a thermal pad on the underside of the SSD. And that thermal pad rests on this chip here. Then we see 2 antennas good going to the wireless card. So there's also a piece of like rubber going over the wireless card. But I'm 99% sure without having to pull anything off. Let's see. Part number 01. Let me pull out my phone real quick. I just want to check out the part number, because it says on the box it has 802.11 AC, but they're on the part number here. Just going to take a quick look. The part number is 01AX. 01AX. I'm just going to Google this real quick. 01AX 795. Oh, that's an interesting card. And that comes up 01AX. Okay, that comes up as an Intel dual band wireless AC card. So it is. It's an AC card. But the nice thing is, you can easily upgrade this to wireless AX in the future if you need it. It's very easy to access this wireless card. On the other computer I showed earlier, the Intel NUC, I believe the whole board has to come out in order for me to upgrade the wireless on it, which is a real pain in the butt. It's nice to have it right here. Okay, so easily you can upgrade the RAM, you can upgrade the SSD, you can upgrade the wireless if you need to. What if, in addition to an SSD, you want to add a hard drive to this computer? So, can you do that? And the answer is yes, with these things here. So, inside the box, there are 2 cables. And I'll show you here. I just happen to have a old school, I say old school jokingly, but SATA SSD. So here you have power and data. So you would go, you can basically, these would line up here. I could put that on there. And then you have the other cable. Wow, that's a really tight fit. I don't like that. So I wish this was like a single thing. So if you look here, okay, now I have, yeah, it's really thick. So I have the one cable on. When I go to add the other, now watch this. This is interesting. It really doesn't line up. So I can push it on, but if you look, it's very angled. I can press it down more. Wow. It should be okay. That's really surprising, that design. That's kind of a... Or am I doing it... Oh, you know what? Forgive me. I'm probably doing it backwards. Because, if I can pull this off now, both sides feature the same connector. So I'm going to guess, that's my stupidity there, that this would go on here. Let's see. Much better. Okay, yes. All right, so that lines up absolutely perfectly now. So, in the computer itself, this SATA port, this would plug in here. And then for power, the bigger connector on the drive would plug into the thing here on the bottom. Let's see. And this is very similar to the Intel NUC that I showed earlier. It has the same type of thing. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 towards the top. So yeah, it looks like it should probably go like so. Right, is this the correct plug? It is, okay. So now you can see we have power and data plugging into the board. So in addition to the SSD, here you can add another drive, whether it be an SSD, a hard drive, whatever. A 2.5-inch drive can fit in there. The drive itself, if you look on the bottom, there are holes for mounting, and it looks like they would mount right here. Yep, this lines up perfectly. So the drive itself, I'm going to pull this off. Let's pull this off here. If you want, this is totally optional. If I can pull this guy off here. Wow, that's on there snug. Holy cow. Alright, I'm just going to pull it off the drive for right now. You would mount the drive onto this base, then you would screw it back on. Why would you want to do that? So there's a couple of reasons you might want two drives in there. One, maybe the SSD, 512 gigabytes isn't enough. You want to add a larger hard disk drive. For me, I would probably do a dual boot system. So this drive has Windows on it already. I'd probably just run Windows off of this. Then I'd put Linux on the secondary drive. I prefer that to having two drives, to partitioning. It makes it easier. I can use the BIOS as, you know, the boot manager in the BIOS and just select which drive I want to boot off of. That's usually the best way to do it. You could also just use the Grub boot manager as well at boot and choose between Windows and Linux, whatever you want to do. But having two drives makes it a lot easier. So wow, this is a really cool computer. So I like this design. It's absolutely beautiful. It's very reminiscent of an Intel NUC. It's the same type of a design. You have USB Type-C, you have USB Type-A, plenty of ports on the rear. We have USB, 4 USB Type-A's, 2 of which are 2.0, 2 of which are 3.0. The 2.0 ports you'd probably want to use for a keyboard and mouse since they're a lower speed. Then you can probably, I'm going to guess that you can do dual 4K off of this. At 60 hertz, it should be able to with a Core 5, a 10th gen i5, Core i5 should be able to do that. It is only gigabit Ethernet. You're not going to get multi-gig off of that, but again, for a small computer like this, it's probably going to be fine. You can, connect it using USB, like a 2.5 G Ethernet adapter on here if you wanted to, but I don't really think that's necessary. So I'm going to go ahead and boot this up in, now. I'm not going to do a video of the boot up or anything, but it is very cool. It's a very cool computer. I love the fact that, for one, we have an Intel wireless card. So this is going to run, Linux is going to work perfectly with this card. Very easy to update the RAM, very easy to update the SSD. You can add another storage drive if you want. Very small computer, nice Core i5, brand new 10th gen, and best of all, you are getting MSI quality. MSI is a very well known and well trusted name in motherboard making, computer making. And I've had a lot of MSI motherboards in the past. So this is just a really cool computer. I will put a link to this exact model like on Amazon if you guys want to check it out and purchase it. I like that this does come with Windows on it. You know, Windows isn't super expensive, so if you do buy like a bare bones system without Windows, you can get that pretty inexpensively, or go with Linux. And I'll even let you in on a secret. This Nook that I have here, not only does it have a Linux drive in it, but in addition, it runs Mac OS Catalina. So it's easy to get, with these little computers, get a Hackintosh running, especially since I think now the new Macs do have 10th gen Intel chips. It should be easier to get it running on something like this soon. I'm sure there's no easy guide to Hackintoshing this particular model just yet, but it's definitely a possibility in the future. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching my video. And if you do like my video and you like my content, please subscribe. All right, folks, thank you so much for watching and have a great day.